MLB The Show just announced a bunch of updates for its franchise mode, including changes to the commentary and broadcasting presentation. Free agency should feel more realistic and bigger, just as it is in real life. I'm very excited to talk about what's new coming into franchise mode, a mode that I think has largely been forgotten or overlooked in recent years, much like Road to the Show. So let's deep dive into what should hopefully be a more realistic baseball experience. Leave a like down below on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let me know in the comments section, what new changes would you like to see come into franchise mode? The main focus this year in franchise has been overhauling the free agency experience, which has been an area of franchise mode that many fans have critiqued in recent years, feeling that MLB The Show's representation of the offseason feels disconnected from what really happens in Major League Baseball. And I totally agree. I've had many instances where I'm playing a franchise and all of a sudden you get a notification that, Juan Soto is signing with the Miami Marlins on a 8-year deal for $245 million. You see things that don't happen in real life. And from the looks of things, it will feel more like a real MLB offseason for MLB The Show 25. You notice in a couple contract offering situations that the valuation for these top players is a lot higher than it has been in previous MLB The Show installments. Although, little nitpick, because we love to do that on this channel, says Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is asking for 7 years, about $30 million a year. If that is what he wanted, the Blue Jays would have signed him 5 years ago. And overall, the free agency experience for MLB 25 is going to look a lot like the scouting experience within MLB The Show. So really, a complete overhaul on how you would go about the offseason within franchise mode. The way they're setting it up now, you're really going to have to consider what free agents you target, and there's going to be a lot of playing around to figure out how to best utilize your time efficiently. In a way, I would compare it to NCAA football, their newest game, and how scouting works. You can't just scout everybody efficiently at the same time, and here in MLB The Show free agency, you really have to pick and choose, prioritizing a couple free agents at a time. Is that necessarily 100% how MLB free agency works in real life? No. You think of teams like the Dodgers, the Yankees, who are in on lots, if not almost all free agents seemingly. But I do think this setup will make things a bit more interesting. This year, there's more factors determining a player's overall value and how much money they might want in free agency. It's not just statistics anymore. You've now got to factor in where a player wants to play. He might want to go to a contender, and if your team is not ready to compete, there's less motivation for him to sign with you. If you have a good player at that position already, that is another deterrent from a free agent potentially going to your club. There's a lot more moving parts this year, which again, I think is cool. Much like the scouting process within franchise right now, there's a lot of questions that you have to answer. Again, you look at your current big board of free agents, notice that you see the Mets, the D-backs, and the Yankees are rumored to be talking to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Even in a video game, we can't get away from the insiders supposedly having information. But details like teams interested in certain free agents is going to impact how you go about your offseason. Let's say you're the Red Sox in this franchise, and you notice the Yankees are in on Vladimir Guerrero Jr., that might put a little bit more pressure on you to go after and sign him so you can steal him away from your rivals. At a baseline, the longer that you have a free agent on your big board, the more motivation for them to sign with you they'll have. So if you really want a specific free agent, if you prioritize them in your number one slot from week to week, you're probably going to have a fairly high chance at signing them no matter what organization you are. And again, that's the trade-off of if you really want to go after this one specific guy, You're potentially limiting your overall free agent class while you're letting other players slip out the door and go to different ball clubs. Now, the big names, the top free agents in any given offseason, are known as market setters. Again, translating to real life, think of Juan Soto this year. Pretty much stagnant free agency until he went to the Mets, and then all of a sudden there was a barrage, a flurry of players signing to different teams, really opening up the free agency market. And you can expect that in MLB The Show as well. You might not see a lot of players sign until one of the top guys in the class goes off the board. As you build up a player's motivation to sign to your team at 50% interest, they can now receive a contract offer from you. And they make a point within this video saying if you offer an insulting contract to a free agent, it is very unlikely that they'll have interest in you going forward. So you really have to consider how much money you're going to offer. However, you could decide to overpay. Give a player more than what he's actually demanding, and that will make it more likely that a player is going to sign abruptly. Even if your motivation percent is lower than it could be, if you offer above market value, what that player is expecting, you got a good chance at landing him. But you do have to consider your team's overall budget. MLB The Show franchise, much like real Major League Baseball, there is no salary cap. However, the default setting is that budget restrictions are on, which loosely makes the whole experience a bit more realistic. You know, the A's are going to spend like $100 million and the Dodgers are going to spend $300 million. And that is a lot of what is coming to franchise. They also do detail that the arbitration system has been reworked. It's now going to be more realistic, just like the veteran contracts that you'll sign players to in free agency. The new arbitration values reflect real Major League Baseball. And new this year, you have your number, they have their number, and if you can't agree, then it goes to the arbitration, a mediator to decide that player's contract for the next year ahead. So again, a step forward into making it more like real baseball. MLB The Show 25 will also have 2 brand new public address announcers.
We've also added Adrian Roberson and Rennell Brooks Moon.
The commentary is said to be expanded as Boog Sciambi and Chris Singleton are back together in the virtual booth. I know not everybody is a big fan of that pairing. A lot of people miss Matt Vasgersian, who was on the mic for the show for about 20 years, I believe. Hopefully things get better this year. Obviously, there's a lot of repetition, repeating the same lines with Boog and John. Hopefully another year here, they can keep cranking out more stuff to say, because I think there is a lot of potential with those two. I do like them as announcers. Maybe one of my favorite new additions that they talked about today was the brand new broadcast presentation. This year looks to be a real leap to get MLB The Show to start feeling more like an actual television broadcast. And they have new things that'll help enrich your personal franchise experience, like showing game storylines, league news, minor league statistics, more graphics, more presentation, and more personality that you can inject into your franchise, which is really what it's all about. You know, this is you basically entering your own baseball universe, having a simulation where things happen uniquely to you. Overall, I liked what I heard today. I don't think there's anything bad. I mean, these are new features. It all should be good, right? But I wonder if it is enough. The main selling point for franchise players is that free agency has borrowed the tools that you use for scouting within franchise, and that the logic is improved. If things are more realistic. I'm sorry, but as someone who's played franchise for years and who watches these developer deep dives every year and hears that, oh, well, we improved trade logic, contracts are more realistic, it's hard for me to buy in, especially when in this trailer that supposedly details how it is supposed to be more realistic, you see that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. wants a 7-year, $210 million contract? On what world? It's public information that he wants a contract value double that. I am excited. I don't want to send the message that I don't think they've done anything good here. I think the franchise priority big board system they have putting into the game here is going to make it a little bit more engaging, of course. You're really going to have to decide your offseason plan. You know, pick a couple free agents that you want most of all, and your decisions, prioritizing Vlad instead of, this other free agent, you might miss out on him because you didn't spend enough time. And there's definitely going to be real thought needed to develop that free agency plan. That I'm a big fan of. Referencing back to my NCAA 25 comparison I made and how the scouting works in that game, I think this new free agent experience would be enriched if there were more pitching opportunities, more things that really impacted a free agent's interest in you. Because from the sound of it, it is just, are you good? Is somebody better than me at my position? And how long you've been on their scouting board. Innately, there's more reasons why a free agent might want to sign with you or they might not. For example, the coaching staff. Do they like the manager, the team? Have they worked with them in the past? Do they think that that is a good fit? I think making the coaching staff matter more in the game is pretty crucial. Where on earth are you located? Is the team based in New York City? Are you playing in Guam? That's another big contributor. And these might be things that they eventually add on to this free agency system. It just seems a little bit short-sighted to me to launch this, and it kind of seems half-baked. There's not a ton of actual factors outside of how much time you dedicate individually to a free agent to determine if they would actually want to play with you. It's a much bigger process than that in real life, and again, like in NCAA, there's many ways to go about your pitch, and there's some guys you just aren't going to get. They just don't want to play with you. Like I said for Road to the Show, we're on a flight of stairs. We're not in an elevator, which just brings us up to our end goal right away. It's one step at a time, and I see the vision for them to get to their end goal, but man, it does feel like a long time to get there. And again, I always talk about if you're a franchise-only player, is there a reason for you to buy MLB The Show 25 instead of just downloading an updated roster for 24? I'm not sure. I'll have to get my hands on the game and hear more about exactly everything that they've done for franchise. Maybe there's a bunch of under the hood things that are really going to change your experience. I'm not sure. But as it sits right now, I don't think this is some giant leap. It's an improvement. And I guess we just have to settle for that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you interested? March to October. I assume they're getting the free agent stuff. This was a franchise and March to October deep dive. I don't even know if they said March to October. I'm guessing they just get whatever's coming to franchise. March to October being the condensed franchise mode. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, and thank you guys for watching.